6 minutes into 12 midday in Central African time. Happy Sunday. Officially the last Sunday for the month of August 2025. Welcome to Planting the Seed. As we wrap up the month, we're also wrapping up Women's Month. Really just such an epic occasion the month of August has been, and it's wonderful to have you join us as we revive the culture and agriculture. That has been sort of our catchphrase for the last couple of years as we've hosted the show, bringing it to you continentally, wherever you are. It's always a pleasure to have you join us. My name is Mmatsheko Mosito, and I am bringing you all things agriculture and lifestyle until 2 p.m. in Central African time. Welcome to the show. Channel Africa available to you via satellite across the African region. That's on Channel PAS10. In Southern Africa, Channel 802, OpenView HD, Channel 628. Those are all the satellite platforms. We're all over social media. If you search for Channel Africa, you'll also be able to audio stream the show on YouTube as well as Facebook. What's happening today? Well, we've got our Agri Update. As per every Sunday, we bring that to you. Also coming through in conversation that is wholesome when we look at themes around Water Week for the year 2025. Okay, we're going to be establishing what that's all about with my special guest just after 12:30 today, and really just talking about the big themes around Water Week. What is Water Week? What is it exactly there to achieve? So we're going to look at the big theme, and I'm going to be speaking to Sir Stuart Ntlati, and he is BRICS Ambassador and a scientist, and we're just going to talk to him about the themes around Water Week for the year 2025. Also coming through in conversation with our good friends from SA Harvest. Always very exciting to catch up with them as we talk about the Africa Supply Chain Excellence Awards. All of that will be happening just after 1. Otherwise, welcome to the show. So much to unpack in our Agri Update. And of course, throughout the show, don't forget to stream. Thanks for tuning in.
Planting the Seed digs deep into the trends shaping Africa's agriculture. Every Sunday, 12 to 2 p.m. with Mmatsheko Mosito. Expert insights and real conversations on Channel Africa. The African Perspective.
Ukatili wa kijinsia unaharibu maisha na kutenga jamii. Hutokea nyumbani, shuleni, kazini na mara nyingi kwa ukimya. Lakini hauwezi kuendelea. Ukiona, ongea. Ikiwa unaumia, funguka, kwa sababu kutofanya lolote sio chaguo. Sikiliza vituo vyote 19 vya redio kuanzia Jumatano ya tarehe 23 Julai kwenye mijadala, ushauri, tamthilia, maonyesho ya elimu na mahojiano na wataalamu, watunga sheria na nchi nzima iliyoathirika na ukatili wa kijinsia kwenye vituo vyako pendwa vya redio. Piga simu 0800-428-428 ili kuripoti unyanyasaji au kupata msaada. GBV ikomeshwe na wewe. Ujumbe huu umeletwa kwenu na shirika la SABC.
So many plans, now I didn't get those, you don't understand. Every day I'm wishing for another chance, another moment praying that the time will pass. Please, never leave, treat me like you gold, baby, treasure me. You're the only person that I ever needed, yeah.
Hard to stay afloat, heart being in the dark, I'm trying to hold on to my hope. Lying if I said I'm doing fine, it's hard to show. Planning on a day we never got, it really wasn't time to go. You're the only reason driving, making, fighting for this worth it. You're the only reason trying to make a difference gives a purpose. I'm still here at your service, I need you like it's urgent. I'll give all that I gotta have you back, and I ain't trying to pay for perfect. And I questioned your heaven, got your attending. And the day that I got that news, I wish you kept on this damn pendant. I'm too hurt to be pretending, got a scar that's on my heart that can't be mended. And it hurt that I can't have you in the prison.
So many plans, now I didn't get those, you don't understand. Every day I'm wishing for another chance, another moment praying that the time will pass. Please, never leave, treat me like you gold, baby, treasure me. You're the only person that I ever needed,
Losses, I took them all, nigga, then some. Hold on the crosses, I lost my friend, you're my best one. You had me smiling, giggling, you ain't know what tense was. No goodbye from you, could've never seen the outcome. Inside, that's where I kept it, had to suppress it. Been gone a while, time to time, I still hit your message. Hit your dial, voicemail, you guessed it, I'm desperate. This ain't how a fairy tale go, I'm in a tailspin. My heart's in the wrong place, my mind's in a blank space. My soul's alcohol, shed light on my dark days. Was lost at the start, I found my feet and I embraced it. But ever since you left, I'm spending Fridays getting wasted.
So many plans, now I didn't get those, you don't understand. Every day I'm wishing for another chance, another moment praying that the time will pass. Please, never leave, treat me like you gold, baby, treasure me. You're the only person that I ever needed,
Tune in and turn up the volume. This is Channel Africa.
Every night I dream of what could be. If only you knew me.
16 minutes, I beg your pardon, into 12 midday in Central African time. A pleasure to have you join us on Channel Africa as we talk all things agriculture. Just in case you're listening for the first time, well, this is Channel Africa and we are your continental connection to all things African progression. And on Sundays between 12 and 2, we talk all things agriculture. We begin with our agri update. We look at just stories that have been kind of on the headline of agriculture and its supporting fraternities. So agriculture, as you would know, is and remains the backbone of Africa's economies, providing livelihoods for nearly 70% of the population and contributing over or around 30% to the continent's GDP. Yet, despite processing 25% of the world's arable land, Africa produces just 10% of the global agricultural output, revealing a stark productivity gap. Recent years have seen both promises and peril for African agriculture. Countries such as Zimbabwe have reaped bumper maize harvests, leading to a reinstated import ban to support local farmers. Meanwhile, initiatives like the Small Valley Project in Cote d'Ivoire are doubling on rice yields through water management innovations. In Kenya, as you and I speak, the introduction of persistent potato varieties from Scotland is helping smallholders to protect one of their most valuable staple crops. However, climate pressures are intensifying. Erratic rainfall, prolonged droughts, and soil degeneration threaten food insecurity across vast parts of the African continent. And according to the United Nations, over 90 million people in East and Southern African countries currently face hunger due to climate-driven crop failures. So I thought, as we talk about this and the potentiality of Africa and its agricultural prospects, I found something in the archives. I found something from Farming First, which is just a kind of a talk or a speech, if you will, by Her Excellency Joyce Banda, who was speaking at the time in her capacity as the president of Malawi. She's now the former president, but she really had some value to share when it comes to agriculture on the African continent. She was talking about the vision for African agriculture and transformation on the continent.
Most Africans are engaged in peasant farming. And I think with the SDGs, the time is now. This is the right time, where there must be political will on the part of presidents on the continent of Africa to look at agriculture as the one sector that can transform most economies. In 2004, we had hunger, we didn't have enough food for the nation. The president then, President Bingu wa Mutharika, decided that he was going to be revolutionary. He went to the World Bank and told them that he was going to subsidize inputs. And of course there was a lot of resistance, but finally, with a lot of support from other people that believed in him, it was accepted and it was done. And the donors came and helped us. And we went from no food to surplus production, to an extent that we started exporting as well as donating to countries that didn't have enough food. So we know that it just takes a leader that is determined. But then at country level, it is the grassroots, the leadership on the ground that must also be engaged. I'm talking about here traditional leaders, because in Malawi, that program, that subsidy program, was implemented on the ground by grassroots, by the traditional leaders. In a country that is traditional like ours, the traditional leaders are the custodians of tradition and culture. So therefore, whatever they say at grassroots to their people is what will happen. one thing that I know for sure is that the international community that support African governments must listen to the priorities of African leaders, and that African leaders must listen to the masses and support them. So countries must implement their programs supported by World Bank rather than countries implementing programs designed by the international community, implemented by the countries, because it won't work. I've been saying for 15 years that what we need to do is to go in with an integrated program. So the Joyce Banda Foundation has tried this out and have found that it works. That you go into that family and income is critical. But income that comes through agribusiness. So as they grow crops for food, they grow crops for cash crops. Because when there's income at that household level, the girls in that household are going to school. Because when there's less income, the boys are going, the girls are not going. And when the girls don't go, community encourages them to get married. So they're getting married at 14. And my research has shown that when they get married, those that are dying giving birth are the ones that are having babies between 14 and 19. So keeping this girl child in school for more years is about her life as well. So in 3 years' time, we go back, we look back to that community. We see women busy working with income, enough food, well-fed children because of nutrition, because of enough food, girls going to school because there's a school, maternal health, there's a clinic, less women dying giving birth, less infections of HIV/AIDS, and everybody thriving and enjoying their human rights.
Still a very, very important voice, in my opinion, on the African continent, and that is Her Excellency, former President of Malawi, Joyce Banda, really talking about capacity, talking about the work of her foundation as well, which really did some tremendous things. So she really was looking at African agriculture and talking on themes of transformation as well. So as we speak, experts are estimating that Africa needs roughly $315 billion every single year by the year 2030 to modernize food systems and bring the product and bring down or equalize, as it were, the productivity gap that we are seeing today. The Social Enterprise Fund for Agriculture in Africa, or SEFA as it's known, managed by Sahel Capital, has secured a $10 million investment from the MasterCard Foundation Africa, as well as the Growth Fund, according to a post that was on LinkedIn recently. So the fund is managed by MEDA, or Minute Economic Development Associates in Mauritius. A press release further notes that the investment will allow SEFA to expand support for small and medium-sized agribusinesses, creating 10,000 jobs across 13 sub-Saharan African countries. These businesses often excluded from traditional financing, play a critical role in empowering smallholder farmers and generating income opportunities, particularly for women and young people on the continent. So since the inception of the fund in the year 2021, there has been process of 33 facilities to 18 companies in 7 countries in sub-Saharan Africa. This according to Menzao Nwaneli, who is managing partner of Sahel Capital in this release that has been written. So this 10 million commitment from the MasterCard Foundation Africa Growth Fund through MEDA Mauritius is a testament of the team's hard work and the impact that we are going to be seeing now and into the future.
Africa has some of the richest soil of any nation. The climate is exceptional, yet African farmers struggle to compete on the world food market.
Farmers who want to profit from exports must think big. They need to access more capital than farmers who are self-sustaining. along with more capital comes the need for proactive oversight.
Over the past few years, the African Agricultural Equity Group has invested $300 million in 16 African nations. The AAEG foregrounds a partnership of local governments and farmers with outside banks and businesses.
The African Agricultural Equity Group prioritizes long-term earnings. Resource and wealth management are fundamental components of its business model. This creates the stability that major investors demand.
In South Malawi, sugarcane farmers had incurred tremendous debt. As a result, their farms lacked basic infrastructure repairs. Canals, dams, and roads were degraded almost beyond use. The AAEG helped turn what looked like a hopeless situation into a profitable venture.
The yield of the Malawi farmers increased dramatically. They became players in the world sugar trade. Now, more money is coming to African farms. Success breeds success.
In the Ivory Coast, coffee farmers have been able to enhance their crop in quality and quantity. A new pattern of agricultural achievement is taking shape all over Africa, and that, in turn, is improving Africa's schools, housing, and medical care.
Of course, business in the 21st century isn't just about profits. It's also about sustainability. The African Agricultural Equity Group consults with environmental specialists on metrics for emissions, water use, and green energy.
With the commitment of the AAEG, Africa is positioned to become a model for best practices in 21st century farming.
That is the amazing voice of Cynthia Kimola from Kenya. So she was narrating as part of that insert talking about investing in African agriculture. And this is, of course, the work of the African Agriculture Equity Group as we see it and hear it, as it were, in that particular insert. Lastly, okay, we're looking ahead. Towards February, I guess, March, it seemed like October was miles away, but October is actually around the corner. And speaking of October, the 2025 Africa International Agricultural Expo will be coming back once again. It's always held in Nairobi in Kenya, and it takes place in the month of October. This year we're going to see it come through on the 28th to the 31st of October 2025 at the Kenyatta International Conference Center, or KICC, and the event is really all about showcasing global agricultural innovations and technologies, highlighting Africa's capabilities, strengths, trade relationships, and also to promote investment opportunities within the African agriculture sector. And visitors this year, as per every single year, are going to be in to learn, and much of what is going to be happening there is cost free. So there's free learning, networking, as well as opportunity to explore the future of farming in just a wonderful environment. So I want to play for you the highlights of the 7th Africa Agri Expo that was held last year. So between the 19th and the 20th of February 2024 in Nairobi in Kenya.
As we innovate in agriculture, let us prioritize methods that promote sustainability, protect biodiversity, and enhance soil health. By harnessing the potential of technology and embracing the sustainable practices, we can create a thriving agricultural sector that is not only meet the needs of current population, but also for the population in the future.
Africa's population is estimated at 1.4 billion people. It is growing at an average rate of 2.37% year on year. With 1.4 billion people in Africa today, If each of us were to eat a banana this morning, we would require 1.4 pieces of banana delivered to our homes. We therefore need to help farmers and agriculture stakeholders to build resilience to climate change issues. We need to climate-proof national agricultural budgets, and ensure our food systems are fit for purpose. We need to ensure farmers have access to drought and disease-tolerant technologies. We need to encourage private sector to innovate and bring to market products that buttress farmers on issues of climate change. I'm therefore pleased that this expo is taking place. I am happy to see government officials, private sector from Kenya, the region, and the globe here in attendance, research institutions and universities, and farmers on whose shoulders our agriculture systems rest.
We must champion equality for women in agriculture by implementing policies that ensure their access to resources and education and ways to support the agricultural value chain. There's a lot of untapped potential in the youth sector. In this expo alone, from the show round we have done, we have only seen one youth-led initiative. The rest are within the government sector and big companies. And you can see from that one youth-led initiative, which is the Green Ponics, all the young people had gathered there to hear this young man's story and know how they can replicate the same.
There are many people who are crying about the limited space, that they can't do agriculture because of the limiting space, you see? But now, Green Ponic Solution Limited is bringing a solution whereby you need just a small piece of land, like let's say when you want to install for you a vertical gardens. The vertical gardens can produce up to 80 plants in one tower, and it takes just a small piece of space.
Our aim is to produce safe food for Nairobians, and we teach various technologies for food production, because we also realize that in Nairobi people don't have large farms. So the small areas and small spaces that they have, we encourage them to put up farms where they can get especially vegetables for their home consumption and excess they send to the market, because we're interested about food security, nutrition, and food safety.
So if those highlights are anything to go by, you know it's going to be another wonderful installment of this very, very important gathering that's going to be taking place out in Kenya at the Kenyatta Convention Center come October, towards the tail end of the month. So I'm going to keep you updated as the build-up continues to that massive, very important agricultural gathering in East Africa. Okay, so we look at the just concluded Water Week. Okay, it takes place annually between the 24th and the 28th of August. And this year it took place in Stockholm in Sweden. We're going to be catching up with Sir Stuart Ntlati, who is a BRICS ambassador, celebrated scientist and pioneer of African innovation, to talk to us about this. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting in 5 different languages, connecting the continent. This is Channel Africa, the African perspective. Welcome to Planting the Seed with Mmatsheko Mosito on Channel Africa.
Starfish Entertainment. Rapping them on the beat.
They just wouldn't know, baby, I love you so. Cause when I fall down, my love, you lift me up. Baby, you're the love of my life, oh. Did you see that, for me. Tu décideras jamais. Je peux mourir pour toi. Tu décideras jamais. Allez, mon amour, allez. Allez. Que quoi qu'il arrive, tu resteras mon bébé. Mon bébé. Bébé, bébé. Que quoi qu'il arrive, tu resteras mon bébé. Mon bébé. Bébé, bébé. Nanga si you're my baby. Let me love you. Ti amor. Let me love. Allez, mon amour, allez. 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 Que quoi qu'il arrive, tu resteras mon bébé. Mon bébé. Bébé, bébé. Que quoi qu'il arrive, tu resteras mon bébé. Mon bébé. Bébé, bébé. Que quoi qu'il arrive, tu resteras mon bébé. Mon bébé. Bébé, bébé. Hey, Mr. K-Mix.
The Midnight Snack, 12 to 3 a.m.
Young couples or young people that are getting married, we often hear of divorces, that they're getting divorced, and it's quite worrying because when we attend these weddings, we want to see these people flourish and celebrate 30-year anniversaries. What do you think is the main challenge that is facing newlyweds?
We say that tell me how you were raised and I'll tell you how you love. So when we see people getting married, that's not where the relationship actually starts. The relationship starts with how you were raised, what you were familiar with, because we are attracted to what we are familiar with. If you don't have a background where love was prominent, where love was authentic, it's going to be very difficult for you to manufacture that in later life. So our upbringing has something to do with it.
The Midnight Snack, every Monday, 12 to 3 a.m. with Chanduko Ligege.
Initiating rage process.
Now which kind life way I never see. I carry God so I fear nothing.
We are reviving the culture in agriculture with Planting the Seed every Sunday on Channel Africa.
We're 20 minutes into, or 20 minutes rather, away from 1 p.m. in Central African time. Thank you always for your listening ear on a Sunday as we talk all things agriculture. I'm really just so amazed by how interested you are in the fraternity and its supporting sectors, as it were. So today, very exciting as we acknowledge the just concluded Water Week. It happens on an annual basis. This year, of course, Water for Climate Action was kind of the big idea behind World Water Week that took place between the 24th and the 28th of August 2025 out in Stockholm in Sweden. So we're talking about this just concluded gathering for this year 2025, and one of South Africa's innovators was and still is very much set to showcase a solution that could change lives across the globe, not just on the continent. So Stuart Ntlati joins me this afternoon on Planting the Seed in his capacity as BRICS ambassador, celebrated scientist and pioneer of African innovation for over 2 decades. Okay, he has unveiled a portable solar-powered water purification system that through my investigation, I've discovered that it is designed to tackle the triple crisis of water scarcity, climate change, as well as ecosystem degradation, as it were. So at a time when South Africa faces so much when it comes to water and water stresses and risks around the world as well, his work puts Africa firmly on the map as a driver of climate tech solutions. And I'm very excited to talk to him about this and the vision and this groundbreaking innovation, as I love to call it. So, Stuart, wonderful to have you on Channel Africa. Welcome to the show.
Good afternoon. It's always lovely to join you guys.
Thank you very much. Congratulations. I think this is such an incredible milestone. Let's talk about what inspired the creation of this portable solar-powered water purification system. I did mention just some of the problems you're trying to solve, but please just elaborate for us.
Okay, thank you. So back in grade 11, as a high school learner, I wanted to participate in the South African Youth Water Challenge. I was very interested in the innovation and invention category, where we had to solve some of the country's most complex water challenges. And some of them that caught my interest was the high rate of waterborne diseases that people are contracting from contaminated water from various contaminants. The other issue was the government's inability to set up water infrastructure in areas such as Eastern Cape and KwaZulu-Natal, or let me rather say in mountainous regions where it was becoming an engineering nightmare to set up a proper water infrastructure and send it to the people. And then I started to investigate ways in which one could purify water and use what locally available water resources like water wells, rivers, and dams. And in most cases in rural areas, people are sourcing water from the river, for example, or from the banks of the river. And we've seen from wells where people can even do laundry, and some people can help themselves and contaminate this water. So I wanted to create a technology that can be installed inside water without affecting the biodiversity of the water source, and also do it in the most environmentally friendly way possible, and also introduce an engineering masterpiece, but that is easy to use. And then I would then enter the South African Youth Water Prize at that level and participate in various science and technology competition, and over time mastered and perfected the technology. The EVA-T Advanced Water Cleaner is a state-of-the-art water purification technology that subjects water into 3 stages. The water passes through advanced water membranes that are built out of water purification membranes built out of graphene stone. And post the graphene stone, the water is then subjected to an advanced level of electrolysis. And then after electrolysis, it goes through a nanotechnology phase. I'm unable to unpack these stages for IP purposes, but it goes through those stages. We are just simply using 3 simple, already existing technologies, combining them to create to deliver a water purification system, a second to none. We have done various tests in St. Petersburg in Russia, and the technology works perfectly fine. This technology can be installed it's so diverse that it can be installed in a river, it can be installed in a dam, it can be installed in a dam, it can be installed in a bucket, it can be installed in a glass of water. Any water that is contaminated, you put this technology inside water, and then in a matter of 92 seconds, water will be purified and the pH level of water will be perfect and balanced.
I'm always just really, really all kinds of excited. Perhaps, I don't know. I don't think that's the word. I think there's another word, but that's the only word I can find right now. Really excited when scientists become humanitarians at this level, because clearly this technology that you've come up with is going to be addressing a lot of urgent challenges that ordinary South Africans are facing when it comes to being able to access clean water. So as we extend on that idea, Sir Stuart, let's talk about accessibility, because as you're talking, I'm like, oh my goodness, we need to get this to as many people, especially people that live, in rural communities, for example, where access to clean water is almost like a privilege and not a right, unfortunately. So let's talk about access, because this is clearly going to directly impact communities in a very positive way, and how you've designed it so it can fit in a bucket and a glass of water also just really creates a wonderful space for anyone to be able to use it.
The technology is designed not for civilian use. Us designing it to be flexible enough to be installed in a bottle of water, in a glass of water, or in a bucket. It is to demonstrate its effectiveness. At this point in time, we are still investigating ways in which we can make it available for civilian use. We have designed a technology, and the target market is water boards at municipal level, because that is where water is most needed at. The water, the Ivati Advanced Water Cleaner is designed to be sourced by the National Department of Water Affairs or provincial, municipal, and regional or district water boards, where they can purchase the technology and make it accessible for community use and such.
Okay, I understand now. Okay. So I think for me also what's really wonderful to note, Sir Stuart, is the fact that your work and innovation aligns very closely with this year's theme for Water Week, which was Water for Climate Action. So what message did you share in Stockholm on behalf of the continent when it comes to matters of water security?
My message remains constant throughout. In order for us to solve water problems, we must not forget that the next war is going to be centered around it's not going to be a war for oil. People are not going to be fighting for oil or for armaments. People will be fighting for water. South Africa and Africa at large is a water scarce continent. Water is a finite resource when it comes to us. So if we are not going to encourage our people, and I'm encouraging our people through this platform and various other platforms, that the time has come for us to use technological solutions to address water challenges. We need to conserve water, we need to protect water, we need to recycle water. We need to guarantee that the generation of tomorrow, not just one, but two, but hundreds and hundreds of upcoming generations have access to water. Water is a very important human need. There is nothing that comes second to the importance of water on this planet. And the only way we are going to achieve this is by implementing technological innovations that are assisting us to conserve this water, recycle water, and purify it. If we have mine drainage water that is going to be just laying around in disused mines, then it should stop. We should purify this water, put it to another use. If we have water that is running down the households from the showers, from the sink, from the washing machine, instead of taking this water right through the drains, let us install technological solutions and make these solutions affordable, which enables every household to purify this water and put it to other uses. I mean, water alone that is coming from the clinic is a good source of food for plants. This water must be redirected to gardens. But it's easy to talk about it. It's not always easy to remember that. So the best way to do is to rely on technology, which delivers all the time. So you implement and install tech solutions in any household, perhaps even RDP houses that are built on large scales by government. They should be water conservation and water recycling friendly, so that it starts to become a culture, it starts to become a norm.
Wonderful work. We are speaking to Sir Stuart Ntlati, who is BRICS ambassador. He's a celebrated scientist. I mean, you can see all the accolades behind him. That should tell you something. And also a pioneer of African innovation for over 2 decades. We're speaking about the just concluded Water Week, his wonderful invention that really speaks to the Water Week theme for this year and beyond. Water for climate action. Let's take a quick promo break. We'll be right back.
From the soil to smart tech, young Africans are leading the agri-revolution. Mmatsheko Mosito on Planting the Seed with vibrant stories and expert voices. Sundays, noon to 2 p.m. Only on Channel Africa, the African perspective.
Você é fluente em português? É apaixonado por rádio e quer trabalhar na África do Sul? Você tem documentos que o qualificam para trabalhar na África do Sul? Nesse caso, podemos ter uma oportunidade para você trabalhar no Canal África. Envie seu currículo e demonstração para Canal África at newsroom@channelafrica.co.za. Lembre-se, se você não receber alguma resposta nossa em 14 dias, isso significa que você não foi selecionado. Canal África, a perspectiva africana.
We are reviving the culture in agriculture with Planting the Seed every Sunday on Channel Africa.
We're 8 minutes away from 1 p.m. in Central African time. Thank you for staying with us. You are tuned into Channel Africa, channelafrica.co.za, if you are wanting to just sort of take the station with you wherever you are in the world. So Stuart Ntlati still joins me. He's a scientist. He is a water warrior, if I could call him that, because he's really purifying water for consumption. And when you look at the statistic, this innovation is needed. We cannot have enough of these kinds of innovations, okay? Nanotechnology at this level is definitely needed. By the year 2030, statistics are telling us that half the world's population could face severe water scarcity. If you close your eyes and just sit with that fact for 30 seconds, it really is very, very serious. So Stuart Ntlati has come up with an innovation that really is going to assist when we look at the important integration of elements that fall into the solution umbrella, if you will, around water and water purity and scarcity around the world. So Stuart, I want to talk about your ambassadorship a little bit, your BRICS ambassadorship, and you as an African innovator, how do you think the global South can shape and even lead the climate tech conversation for the year 2025 leading up to the year 2030?
We can achieve that, or the global South can achieve that, by firstly emphasizing the foundation of tech excellence, which is ensuring that there is adequate skills in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. How do we do this? We start by tripling our investments, our support, and our policies for education at primary, middle, and high school level. Where we try to overemphasize the importance of taking maths and science and accounting and alike as learning areas. Once you do that, you are building a culture of young people that are leaving high school with critical thinking skills and mindset. And you are then able to drive the conversation of creating a responsible and industrious citizen who are able to solve skills. We are facing a massive shortage of skills in the field of science, technology, and mathematics, and even innovation areas in the country and over Africa. This is simply because we are not producing enough scientists, engineers, and technologists. Once you've got enough of these, you are able to help avert water crises, climate change crises, or any other crisis, including economic crises, until such a point we encourage the masses to always think of tech solutions or technological innovations that are GDP changing and GDP influencing. We are then not doing anything. So the Global South its precedents around the Global South can overemphasize the importance of a high quality education, and this high quality education must include maths and science as core learning areas. And I believe without doubt that once you've got ample production of specific set skills in these fields, you are able to have industrial citizens that are able to catapult solutions that are really impacting humanity for good.
Right, right. I mean, you're obviously speaking, and I enjoyed that response. You're speaking beyond the technology itself. You are, talking about inspiring the next generation of African scientists and innovators. So with that, and as we wrap up our conversation, let's talk about what's next, okay? What's next? Where to now? How do you envision scaling solutions like the one you've come up with this technology so that it can actually reach people and spaces where it is needed most? I mean, this obviously following your response earlier with regards to accessibility of this particular technology to civilians in some way, shape or form. Yeah.
I think we should start having a conversation and meetings and plans around inspiring and empowering local municipalities. Local municipalities are the endpoint of accessing ordinary human beings, ordinary citizens on the ground. We need to encourage our local municipalities to not just be innovative, but to start think smart in every way possible. We need to look at smart cities in the developed world and downscale these smart cities thinking to local municipalities. For instance, we can encourage municipalities at local level to really implement solutions around rainwater, for example. How do we recycle water from the rain? How do we integrate tech solutions in everyday household? How do we have solutions in these homes to make sure that every little water that can be collected is put into good use? So this conversation needs to happen at local municipality level. Look, until we start talking and implementing these solutions, we will have a World Water Week every year where ministers of waters around the world converge. We have discussions, but if they are not implemented at municipal level, we are not winning. The war against water shortage will not end. And we are also, it is upon us to start to avert any coming World War III, which I can assure you is going to be centered around water. Human beings will be fighting for water resources and nothing else. So we need to start implementing policies. We need to start empowering and supporting local municipalities, because if you get it right at municipal level, it becomes easy to do it at regional, district, provincial, and national level.
Okay. We are grateful for your work. I think for anyone that really just wants to get a glimpse into your innopreneurship, as you call it, as an inventor, as a scientist. I know you are on Instagram, but where else can we perhaps follow you for inspiration and also to find out more about your technology?
People can visit our website, saindustries.co.za, or email us at innovation@saindustries.co.za. And we are happy to partner with everyday people. We are happy to create opportunities. We are happy to listen to the discussions around technological innovations for the empowerment and betterment of Africa.
Sounds wonderful. So, Stuart Ntlasi, thank you very much for your work, and hopefully we'll have another conversation that's really about building a more water-secure African continent. But thank you for the time.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me in your show.
Thank you. So Stuart Ntlati, who is an inventor, he's a scientist, he is a celebrated scientist, might I add, BRICS ambassador, and just a pioneer when we look at water spaces for African innovation, as it were. And we're talking about Water Week. We're talking about his nanotechnology that really is about purifying water. He understands rights. He understands, that there are spaces that are privileged. How can that privilege filter down to all of humanity as we look at things around water? right now and into the year 2030 and beyond. So very, very important conversation. It's 1 p.m. in Central African time, gearing up for conversation as we talk to our good friends at SA Harvest, and we're going to be talking to them about the Africa Supply Chain Excellence Awards. We'll be right back.
Agri-tech, innovation, and the voices growing Africa's food future. Planting the seed with Mmatsheko Mosito every Sunday from 12 to 2 p.m. only on Channel Africa, the African perspective.
Initiating rage process.
Now which kind life where I never see? I carry God so I fear nothing. Steady increase in the commands. Command. Original no be parody. It no fit clear for your memory. Whether now winter or summer, I did Papa do savannah. Living life, see my fire burning bright within the inside me. Small leeway, they mighty, they never know I color. No the move fine, check and balance. Everything inside my mind daily, trust me, you can't fool me. Energy don't got logo, who are friendly and conscious. I'm allergic to circles, so I'm not ready for confusion. They're telling me make I show love, stability on bono, everything a connection. I'm not ready for confusion. Things happen inside life, try to make I live my life. Dreams come true if not fight the fight, make you no go tired. Fire they go, you need to put your body and soul, leave your worries alone. I just savannah, living life, see my fire burning bright within the inside me. Small leeway, they mighty, they never know I color. Do the move fine, check and balance. Everything inside my mind daily, trust me, you can't fool me. Energy don't got logo, more friendly and conscious. I'm allergic to circles, so I'm not ready for confusion. They're telling me make I show love, stability on bono, everything a connection. I'm not ready for confusion. Now which kind life will I never see? I carry God so I fear nothing. Steady increase in the commands. Command.
Weaving in some proudly African music as we talk all things agriculture. Welcome to Planting the Seed. If you've just started listening, it is a pleasure to have you join me, Mmatsheko Mosito, on with you until 2 p.m. in Central African time. So always a pleasure to catch up with our good friends at SA Harvest, because they are doing such amazing work in South Africa and really inspiring other African regions around what food rescue really is. What is food rescue? How does it work? How do you actually make it a success at this level? They've really set the standard. So food waste and hunger are two sides of the same crisis, if we could put it that way. And South Africa has an organization that is turning, this into something really powerful. As I mentioned, SA Harvest, and through their innovative reverse logistics model, they have been proudly honored at the SA Supply Chain Excellence Awards with the Top Judges Spotlight Award, alongside recognition for humanitarian and health supply chain management. This model has rescued 22 million kilograms of food so far, as you and I speak, rerouting surplus from farms, places like factories, as well as retailers, directly to community organizations. And this really has been about cutting emissions, conserving water, and most importantly, feeding thousands of people on a daily basis. Joining me on the line is Cassandra Potgieter, who is Head of Strategy, Marketing and Communications at SA Harvest. And we're going to unpack how the system works, how it all works, and how it just became this, award-winning global recognition, if we could put it that way, and really taking things to the next level. Cassandra, congratulations. Welcome to Channel Africa.
Mmatsheko, thank you so much for having us. And we are super proud, but I do want to take this moment to say we didn't do this alone, but it is a big moment.
Yes. And we're going to talk about the partnerships and how you actually make it work at this grand scale. But what does this recognition at the Africa Supply Chain Excellence Award mean to SA Harvest at this time?
Mmatsheko, this is actually a how can I say, Kairos moment, or one of those fated moments where once you realize it works, now it needs to scale. It's almost like the dog that caught the bus. And what happened was, with this recognition, it's clearly something that works because it was recognized across the continent. This is not just the South African innovation. There were 46 countries that actually submit for the humanitarian supply chain element for ASCIA annually. And the fact that we won both the Judges Award from a sustainability perspective, as well as the Humanitarian Award, which we won jointly with an organization called Village Reach, doing massively good work. Right. That recognition basically is not just telling us that we are doing it well and we are doing it sustainably, but it's also inviting others to say, look, it really works. It's not just us saying so, and you should buy into it.
Mm-hmm. Very, very important, those partnerships. But I'm interested in the reverse logistics model. How does SA Harvest actually make that work at the scale that you are?
It would not have been possible without the Road Freight Association's membership. So to take a step back, we have a very good relationship with Gavin Kelly and the Road Freight Association, who then basically opens up their membership base on a case-to-case basis. When we have a huge load, we simply put a message out to say, please help. We have this huge load of, let's say, for instance, sweet potato. It's in this location, and we need it hauled from this end to that end. And how the sustainability and the climate change impact actually works in that regard is, even though we are using trucks, we are using an empty leg that would have gone to waste, picking up food that would have gone to landfill, and distributing it to hungry people. So there are so many pillars that the reverse leg hits from a ESG perspective. But and for fear of oversimplifying, building these relationships takes time. And our team had to be on standby, and you have to make things move smoothly, and you have to be alert and understand that from a logistics perspective, the flexibility that these teams have indicated have been what actually makes it work for us. Because if it was rigid, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. But it's a human chain. So it's not your straightforward logistics chain, if I can put it that way.
That makes a lot of sense. And thank you also just for acknowledging the fact that it takes time to build at this level and to build relationship and to build the trust, because to rescue 22 million kilograms of food, that is a lot of food. And I would love for you to just unpack how, this achievement looks in terms of real impact for the communities that you are serving on the ground.
That is a very critical question. And the thing, I'm so glad you're asking it, because 22 million kilograms of food is almost like so arbitrary. It's very hard to conceptualize what that impact looks like. So because we don't cook the food, we don't normally claim the meals around it. We distribute it to communities who cook. But if you do break it down, so we've got a very interesting nutritional app that we use to know how to distribute and who to distribute it to, based on the data that we get from our vetted communities. That basically would have meant 90 million meals, 90 million meals. And to put that into context, it's enough to fill the calabash with people, and then feeding those people with a breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 6 months straight. To put that into context, not to water down what SA Harvest is doing, the issue that we have is we have 18 million people going hungry every year.
Right.
So this is a drop in the ocean. But if we can scale the solution, so if you take into consideration, I'm a very stats person. If you take into consideration, we can take 10 million kilograms of food going to waste annually, edible food.
Right.
Now, what we do, if we rescue 1% of that, that means it's one. So how many people can you feed from that? And now if we can gear organizations to start doing it with us and not us to scale alone, imagine what it would look like for South Africa if we had that much food. So again, the 22 million tons of food is a huge achievement because it would have gone to landfill. The carbon emission on that is profound. The kiloliters of water wasted breaking it down is profound. Make no mistake. But what I want to direct people to is, yes, it's a huge achievement, but now I want us to stand next to each other and say, but what if we do more?
There is potentiality to get bigger.
Yes,
and to do
absolutely.
more. Yes.
Absolutely. So we have 243 vetted community organizations. What does that mean? That means we feed on average about 100,000. We help feed on average about 100,000 people daily. But that's the tip of the iceberg. In terms of the SERI report, it shows that 1/3 of households, that means above 32% of households in Limpopo, Mpumalanga, and Eastern Cape, are food insecure. That means it's not just that they're eating very little or non-nutritional food, they don't eat. So when you start putting that into context, the urgency with which we need to scale this operation, having rescued 22 million foods, and we're showing it's possible, it's doable, and it's transparent, and there's data backing this. Now it's just a matter of taking it and saying, we don't need only 22 million kilograms going forward. We need way more, triple that.
We do. And okay, I wanted to take a break because I really do want to get into the nitty-gritties, possibly, Cassandra, around just the complex network and how it works. Because I know you got a big base in Durban, but you mentioned the other sort of provinces that could do with the wonderful work of SA Harvest, and building this network sounds, quite complex. So we're going to talk about that. Cassandra Potgieter joining me in her capacity as Head of Strategy, Marketing and Communications at SA Harvest. Let's take a quick break. We'll return.
Get the news, music, and lifestyle of Africa on Channel Africa, the African perspective. Africa in Song with Chanduko Ligege.
So when you think of African music, you think of Kwasa Kwasa, high life music from West Africa, Afrobeat from West Africa, of gospel music or faith music or spiritual music. But when we think of reggae music, we go to the Caribbean, and if it's Africa, we only think about Lucky Dube. Well, I'm here to introduce you to some reggae music from Africa. Salif Keita with Dakan Fair from Mali, and I must say this one was a real shock for me because I never had imagined Salif Keita on a reggae beat, but listening to him, it just proved to me how versatile he is as an artist, because you'd be expecting him to be on that vibe of West Africa, of ballads, but he really proved that he is very versatile, and I was pleasantly surprised.
Africa in Song with Chanduko Ligege. You are listening to Planting the Seed with Mmatsheko Mosito on Channel Africa.
Welcome back as we celebrate with our good friends at SA Harvest. They, of course, have been acknowledged at the Africa Supply Chain Excellence Awards for much of the work that they do in food rescue. They were honored with a Top Judges Spotlight Award alongside recognition for humanitarian and health supply chain management. On the line with me, Cassandra Potgieter, and we are from SA Harvest, and we're talking about how SA Harvest actually works, how they do this work, how they are feeding millions and millions of South Africans on an annual basis through their really just beautifully built network and model that they are doing nationally, as it were. So, Cassandra, just picking up on where we left off in terms of how it all works. I think for me, one of the most impressive aspects is how the system links farms, manufacturers, distributors, retailers, with community organizations. That entire network is really, really important. How do you manage to coordinate the complexity of that network on a national scale?
Mmatsheko, think about it more like not an entity doing all the work. So it's not us being so awesome, even though we are awesome.
Yes.
How is imagine us being an orchestrating layer. So
right.
it's almost sort of like the linchpin between all the moving parts. So think of a food value chain as an orchestra. You've got farmers and manufacturers and transporters and warehouses and community kitchens and community and all of that. And each element on its own cannot stop food waste or prevent hunger. So with us acting as the conductor, bringing that symphony together, so we bring those players into harmony. It's a matter of being alert to when the food is ready, when manufacturers need to get rid of their stock in their warehouses, where are the transporters, where are they available? And believe it or not, you can only fit so much into a warehouse the size of ours.
Yes.
So we have to move stuff very quickly. So warehouse availability. Some of the transporters even offer to keep it over to stock some of the items, non-perishables, in their warehouses. We have a very big logistics company that has cold storage available to us when we need it. And all of those elements playing a different role means that every single kilogram of food has a clear path from surplus to someone's plate. That means we know where it needs to go and how fast it needs to happen.
Right. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And thank you always for simplifying the language. And earlier you were talking about, just the importance of food rescue and feeding millions of people, but also assisting with the food not going to the landfills. So to me, that means that food rescue is also climate action to a great extent, because, with tons of CO2 that's avoided, billions of liters that are embedded in water conservation, etc. It seems like there is a big importance as well, or an environmental factors that fit into the dimension of the work. Talk to me about that. How does environmentalism then fit into the puzzle of SA Harvest?
So Mmatsheko, this is almost like a second tier solution. What happens is the first and foremost element is that people are going hungry. This is the problem we have, and we have excess food, and it's not getting to people. That's the oversimplification of the problem that we sit with. But when you think about climate action and food rescue in relation to climate action, then you kind of realize every kilogram of food that's thrown away is not just wasted nutrition or a missed opportunity to feed someone. It carries all the resources that used to produce it, resources that could have gone elsewhere. So globally, food waste contributes about 8 to 10% of greenhouse gas emissions, depending on who you're reading at the time. By the way, which is more than the entire aviation sector worldwide.
Wow.
So throwing food away is more dangerous for our planet than flying, right? So, and in South Africa in particular, dumping food really wastes billion liters of scarce water. And it really damages an already fragile soil system. I can go on for days with that, so I'm not going to go too much down that road.
Right.
But how our model reduces emissions, getting to the point, is by rerouting 22 million kilograms of food. So if you think, again, numbers, thousands of tons of CO2, billions of liters of embedded water being wasted, fertilizer and energy inputs, not just energy from electricity, but human energy perspective. And it becomes, so our logistics use reverse legs, so trucks that are already on the road, an empty load that would have gone somewhere without doing something good. So we cut transport emissions rather than adding new ones. That's the kicker of this. And why this matters in South Africa is that we are both food insecure and water scarce, despite all the rains and the floods that we have.
Right. Yeah.
You can almost look at food rescue as being a double win from a climate change perspective. You feed people and you conserve the environment. So it positions the solution that we've come up with not only as a hunger solution, but also a climate resilience sector. And it's very prevalent, especially now if you take into consideration the NDC, the draft NDC that came out recently. Believe it or not, it wasn't. Food rescue isn't mentioned in the draft NDC. Food loss and waste wasn't mentioned in there, which is why we also attended the Presidential Climate Commission colloquial that was held last week in Sandton. And this is something that needs to be advocated, and you need to talk about it, and you actually need to create awareness around it. But coming back to the point in terms of a climate solution, when we rescue food, we're also rescuing the environment, and that's the long and the short of it. It's, like I said, hunger relief and climate action rolled into one because of how we do it and what we are rescuing. So it's not just waste, it's food waste.
Yeah. So many problems that are being solved here, and also just admiration for the fact that 100 community-based organizations are benefiting from the various people that you are training in food safety, in logistics and storage and other spaces. But you also spoke about scaling the model. Talk to us about what that will take. What will it take in terms of partnerships? What will it take in terms of infrastructure and resources to actually make sure that, SA Harvest grows and reaches more communities?
So first of all, I don't think SA Harvest is unique in the problem that we're solving. There are brilliant institutions out there, many of whom people almost think of it as like, oh, who are your competitors? It's like, really, do you think we're competing to solve hunger? That's a good competition to have.
Interesting.
But look, it gets weird out there, but I think that's a good weird. What I really love is that I think working together, so building the collaboration, building the ecosystem, building the legislation within it to take place, the regulatory aspects that will guide it, it'll bring so many more people on board. So that's high level. But what will it take scaling is a harvest model in particular, more smart food hubs across provinces with cold storage, kitchens, training centers. You need to build those out to have the impact. So without those, food can't be stored safely or processed at scale. That's the long and the short of it. So these hubs will almost become the community anchors where we want people to have, it's by the people, for the people. We want it to be a local community activity. So scaling hunger relief really requires bricks and mortar. That's the hard truth of it. So that aside, we also think about the tech. We've expanded our digital platform, so we match surplus food with demand in real time, but that's demand on our database. That's not the waiting list. That we have a waiting list of about 3,000 community-based organizations. That means not 3,000 people, that's 3,000 organizations that feed food vulnerable people.
Wow.
And when you start thinking about matching surplus with demand in real time, then you can start geolocating, you can start tracking. Instead of food traveling from Limpopo to Mpumalanga, where are the people in Limpopo that are hungry? Take the food there and distribute it and make sure that it's compliant and that we understand that it's also safe. So by building predictive analysis or analytics, so you can optimize routes, by default, you reduce costs, not if or maybe it happens. And then you prevent waste effectively before it happens. So transparent reporting at scale means you can give confidence where confidence is needed, especially for donors, corporates, policymakers. People want to see. And the minute you can provide that, it provides. I always say to my team, to be kind, to be clear is to be kind. Right. And it's not kind like, we're all being happy and kind. It's what kindness brings people along. What can we do to be clear and to be kind? That's what you need to do. Then we look at also the other elements: partnership, ecosystem growth, policy and advocacy, funding and sustainability. Particularly in our partnerships and ecosystem growth, I can tell you it's not a one organization job, and I'll keep hammering on this until the cows come home. So scaling really means growing our ecosystem: food donors, transporters, government. Most importantly, it's not a solution without government and communities all pulling in the same direction. It's almost like herding cats, but we can do it. And then I do think the legal framework will eventually adapt, although that is something that France got right. It's going to take time, and there must be an incentive. We must incentivize surplus donation through sort of over and above Section 18A tax mechanisms, and we also need recognition schemes. I don't think people always realize it's nice to tell people, thank you, you did good, here you go. And then when you have government alignment, you have systemic scale evolution. It's neither here nor there. For funding and sustainability, especially with winning a reward like this, the donors are interested in coming on board long term. It's a good corporate investment because it ticks all the right boxes. And you can also do innovative financing. So you link food rescue to carbon credits. That's another currency. Our currency is food. Corporate's currency is carbon credits, right? So water stewardship, ESG linked bonds, those kind of things, really, that's real money in real world. I mean, if you take into consideration for us to be able to achieve our 2030 goals, I think it takes something ridiculous like $344 billion. Right, let's start small and rescue more food, and then we get to the $344 billion, right? And I think it's also about building a self-sustaining system, right, that will make waste unthinkable. Like, how did we even waste this to begin with? And then last but not least, I do think, just to summarize for us, because I can talk about this for hours. I get very passionate about it.
I would love it. Yes, go ahead.
Scaling our model. So just to recap, scaling our model takes infrastructure like smart food hubs, technology to match, food in real time, partnerships that bring along farmers, retailers, truckers. So everyone needs to work in the ecosystem. Then if you layer over it policy that discourages dumping and encourages donation, that's a critical part. And then most of all, it takes people, trained, empowered communities who can run these hubs, not for SA Harvest to go in and rescue it. We want to empower the people. We want to run a system where we say, this is your system, you own it, you can harvest this food, basically. And to run this hub effectively long after we leave the room. The goal of our organization, eventually, you need to work to become obsolete. That's your NGO goal, right? You need to make the problem go away. So imagine we end hunger, and then what? Then we got to tackle education, because stunting is real. 30% of 5-year-olds can't go to school because they stunted. They growth stunted. It means they don't have brain capacity to learn what they're supposed to be doing. They're not reaching the milestones. I do think if you get that button down, those various moving parts, then I think scale would absolutely be possible, not just hinging on SA Harvest, but leveraging our model. Absolutely, I think it's possible.
Listen, you've shown us that it is possible. You've shown us the world, really. Anything is possible if we work together. And thank you very much, Cassandra, for just being so generous with the information, how it works, how you got to where you are. And I think, the kind of work that you are doing as SA Harvest, and under the conditions that you are doing it under, you are so deserving, more than deserving, of being honored at the Africa Supply Chain Excellence Awards. All the best, and thank you very much for unpacking. We're very excited to, I guess, join SA Harvest and also see how we can assist. But thank you always. Thank you very much for the work that you do.
Oh, Mmatsheko, I wish you could actually see I'm blushing.
I can hear that you're blushing. Thank you so much, Cassandra.
This is not about us. It's about every farmer, every truck driver, every community kitchen, every donor who said this food will not go to waste. And we accept this award on behalf of all of them. Thank you.
Right. SA Harvest as an umbrella term for everyone that is involved. So it's such an amazing thing. And congratulations once again. All the best.
You're amazing. Thanks.
Awesome
Cheers.
stuff. All right, Cassandra Potgieter, Head of Strategy, Marketing and Communications at SA Harvest. Nothing brings me more joy than talking to passionate women, passionate people on the African continent that really are driving the agenda of a new earth, working together. Agriculture, regenerative futures. It just makes me so excited. And this is us talking and celebrating SA Harvest as they've just been acknowledged, honored at the Africa Supply Chain Excellence Awards, very credible award. And they won the Top Judges Spotlight Award alongside recognition for humanitarian and health supply chain management. We're going to chop this piece of conversation with you, and we're going to put it online. Okay, check it out on YouTube. If you've only just started listening, it's on YouTube as a link. Otherwise, we'll have the audio podcast available as well on channelafrica.co.za in the next 24 hours.
This week's food fact on planting the seed.
Low-key, all of them done they notice. I'm not joking, all my guys, them know me. Since 06, I've been writing this story. I know be OG, but if you ask them know me. I know they blow trees, only lonely me lonely. Music chose me, just know this and know peace. I dey low-key, but I'm never lonely. Sexy ladies, come wine for me slowly. I love when I sing and wake me believer. I be like the boy, I'm a singer. Yeah, nobody only be over. I love that they go far. Who's a go with a labor? That's how I'm coming in the shit. But I know you get it too bad. Midnight in a Zanashika. They never see me coming. Oh, coming. We want this coming. Yo, yo, yo. I'm never weak, I never cease. Till eternity, I'm on fire. My legacy will not die. My family is for life. But them day, would them be? Them go crazy, them go die. Them go say, them don't know. It's in this song. Low-key, all of them done they notice. I'm not joking, all my guys, them know me. Since 06, I've been writing this story. I know be OG, but if you ask them know me. I love when I sing, I wake me believer. I be like the boy, I'm a singer. Yeah, nobody only be over. I love that they go far. Who's a boy with a labor? That's how I'm giving you the shit. But I know you beat it too bad. Midnight when I start shika. They never see me coming. Who coming? The one is coming. Yo, yo, yo.
Call us on +27 63 406 9126 and contribute to the conversation.
Eu sei que falha, mas eu te peço perdão, consolé. Sei que fui tolo, mas eu peço perdão. Atu, muleve, ai maracu. Atu, muleve, ai natuele mira miwe twile male male baba kukipelale wakala niweva twile male baba kukipelale wakala ninyova.
Professor Lay representing Mozambique with Phil Hay, the title of the song. Thank you very much for tuning in and for choosing Planting the Seed as we talk all things agriculture and reviving the space in the most amazing ways. Today, big themes around food rescue, around water rescue. If that's not a term, we've just invented it. But I really just love how the conversations have been able to filter through each other today. And of course, as per always, you can catch these conversations. They'll be up as audio podcasts, okay, to catch up on channelafrica.co.za. So just check in the next 12 to 24 hours. Otherwise, you can catch the YouTube videos. They should be up on YouTube with the relevant links so that you can catch up on our conversations. Okay, our food fact, I really just want to talk about USDA solar policy shift. And it looks like it's just going to be sending ripples across global farmland debates, as it were. Okay, so the U.S. Department of Agriculture has grown a firm line in the soil. No more federal funding for solar panel installations on productive farmland. And this is a decision that was made and announced last week, if memory serves me correctly. So for years, American farmers tapped into programs like the Rural Energy for America to install solar infrastructure, often on land that could otherwise grow food. But with over $2 billion spent on primary R gauge, increasingly covering the panel. So the USDA is now pulling back, so they only install small scale systems under 50 kilowatts with, to make sure that supply is on until this month next year, so August, I beg your pardon, of 2026. And even those must be proven historically to have good energy use. And what does this mean now in the context of Africa? So African stakeholders, the move offers a cautionary tale, all right, as solar investments accelerate across the continent. Balancing energy goals with agricultural resistance is becoming one of urgency. When we look at countries like Zambia, like Kenya, South Africa, have all seen rising interest in dual use land models where solar and crops coexist, but the USDA's reversal suggests that harmony isn't guaranteed at this time. The takeaway for African policymakers around this matter, well, renewable energy must be integrated with long-term food production strategies, not layered over them. Okay, with climate pressures mounting and land competition intensifying, the continent cannot afford to reap mistakes made in other continents, like the United States, for example. So we're going to continue tracking this particular one and looking at how this particular shift is going to be influencing donor priorities. Things like, I would imagine, land use frameworks are going to be affected, and also the future of agri-energy partnerships across the continents and across the regions on the African continent. It's quite a big story and very intricate. And I'm also just trying to understand the intricacies around USDA and the solar policy, because that on its own needs quite a lot of understanding. But of course, we needed to talk about it because it affects how African countries operate their solar models, as it were. So we're going to be tracking this one very, very strongly on planting the seed, and we'll bring you updates as the week progresses. We're gearing up towards wrapping up the show, and then Africa at Play will be taking over just after 2.
Your favorite songs, your favorite stories on your favorite station. This is Channel Africa.
Darubini ya Afrika na I am Henry Shakif.
Unadhani kunaweza kuchangia kwa namna gani ili kuweza kurejesha mauzo ya biashara hiyo ya chai?
Inasemekana kwamba kuna ile kamati ama kamati imeweza kuundwa ikiongozwa na mmoja wa viongozi wa taifa la Iran, na inasemekana kwamba itaanza kazi mara moja na kutafuta vile biashara kati ya Kenya na Iran itaweza kuenda aswa kwa mauzo ya chai.
Siku 60 ni chache sana katika kuweza kuamua jambo au maamuzi. Unadhani litaweza kufanikiwa?
Tukitazama kwa undani, nchi ya Iran imeweza kupigwa marufuku aswa na nchi ya Marekani kwa mambo mengi ya kibiashara, na ndio kidogo wameanza kujaribu kutafuta pale popote watakaweza kupata bidhaa.
Darubini ya Afrika 11 kamili hadi 12 kamili majira ya Afrika ya Kati.
Sabatenga balaza, tenga lalela, angono saikundula, indlela ezekaya, yazi ukona, yazo yaphila, ingakho ngizibuza ukuthamuzwa yini, sengithanga imemeze. Uzongizwana kuyabanda pendlini ungekho, sengithanga izitele ngivele ngimemeze dala ngikulindile. Sekudalo ambele tando Zongekumbula nami tando Sekudalo ambele oh Awupinde futhi ubuye ngakimi Uzobuya tando Ngiyazuzongizwa futhi Ngiyazuzobuya tando Ngiyazuzongizwa tando Sekudalo hambele tando Zongikumbula nami tando Sekudalo hambele tando Ngiyadinga buya buya tando buya Tithi buya
Channel Africa and you have got something in common. The thirst for knowledge.
Aujourd'hui je comprends la valeur de ta présence. Quand j'ai tout perdu, qu'elle a gagné d'avance. Je peux pas t'en vouloir, oui j'ai fait la conne. Yeah. Quand tu m'as tout donné, que je le donnais à un autre. Hey. Maintenant elle a pris ma place. Je te regarde faire ta vie, il faudra que je m'y fasse. Je t'ai pas calculé, je t'ai même zappé. La roue a tourné, tourné, pime dans ma face. Oui, avec toi j'ai été cruelle. Je me retrouve avec mes regrets toute seule face à moi-même. Dans tout ça, le mal, c'est moi-même. Si tu m'aimes, je voudrais que tu me reviennes. Je voulais pas qu'on se perde. C'est toi et moi sans elle, et puis c'est tout. Yeah. Si tu m'aimes, je voudrais que tu me reviennes. Je voulais pas qu'on se perde. Ne me dis pas qu'il est trop tard et oublie tout, yeah. Le karma a joué son rôle. On sait ce qu'on perd mais jamais ce que l'on retrouve. Depuis je passe mes journées sur Insta. Vous deux ça a l'air stable, je pourrais même vous mettre un like. Et quand je vous imagine j'ai la haine. Regarde-moi dans les yeux et dis-moi en face que tu l'aimes. Je suis sûre que ce n'est qu'un pansement, qu'au fond tu ne le penses pas. T'as fait tout ça par fierté. Mais je me mens à moi-même. Je vois bien que t'es heureux et que t'as tout trouvé chez elle. De l'amour, de la passion, tout ce que je ne te donnais pas. De la douceur, de l'attention. On récolte ce que l'on sème. Elle t'a fait m'oublier, c'était pas compliqué pour elle. Aujourd'hui j'ai du mal à admettre que je te fais. Si tu m'aimes, je voudrais que tu me reviennes. Je voulais pas qu'on se perde. C'est toi et moi sans elle, et puis c'est tout. Yeah. Si tu m'aimes, je voudrais que tu me reviennes. Je voulais pas qu'on se perde. Ne me dis pas qu'il est trop tard et oublie tout, yeah. Suis-moi, je te fuis, fuis-moi, je te suis. Suis-moi, je te fuis, fuis-moi, je te suis. Suis-moi, je te fuis, fuis-moi, je te suis. Suis-moi, je te fuis, fuis-moi, je te suis, je te suis. Si tu m'aimes, je voudrais que tu me reviennes. Je voulais pas qu'on se perde. C'est toi et moi sans elle, et puis c'est tout. Si
9 minutes away from 2 p.m. in Central African time, coming through with music like a melting pot. French meeting isiZulu in a double play. Joe Zuma from South Africa coming through with Tando Futhi. Lydia with Situem, the title of the song. And this is us wrapping up agricultural programming. Don't forget to, of course, check out the links for interviews on our Facebook page, as well as we're going to put it on Twitter as well. Yes, we're going to do that. We're going to do that for you if you want to watch what took place on the show this afternoon. Otherwise, channelafrica.co.za for the audio catch-up podcast. It will have some brand new episodes for you in the next 12 to 24 hours. Otherwise, this is us making way for more Sunday programming in the form of the best sports show in the land. NETO back with his Durban glow in the studio, in his chairman's chair. What's going on?
A very good afternoon, and a very good afternoon to all the Channel Africans. We are anticipating an exciting edition of Africa at Play. Our teenager in sport, Taylor Hill, is an 18-year-old motorsport official whose courage and dedication are refining what it means to be a trailblazer in the sport. And we'll also be talking to the legendary Kesham Sajinyati, our correspondent based in the United Kingdom, on the latest in different marathons, including the Tokyo Marathon. And we will also celebrate Women's Month as we wrap up the month on this day of the 31st. We will be talking to Mpumi Manyisi, who is an SABC sport journalist who has won the Women in Print of the Year at the G Sport Awards. We'll also speak to Cynthia Chaka, a very legend when it comes to sports broadcasting, G Sport Hall of Fame recipient. And our legend in boxing is the Sehok Makebula.
Okay, sounds exciting. I'm looking forward to hearing from Cynthia Chaka. I've been a fan forever and a day. Okay, so 2 p.m. until, for the next 3 hours until 1700, that is Africa at Play, bring you all things sporting action. And they bring the action live as it happens in the studio as well, so catch it. Otherwise, the next time you and I have a conversation, it will be September. You know, the soil is still rich. The people are still talking. The future is ripe and ready, and it's growing. And we're going to continue talking all things agriculture. So join me then. That is between 12 and 2 as we talk all things agriculture. Thank you to the team that have been holding it down on audio streaming. Thank you to Catherine Chu Maleka on TO, that's technical operation, and to Dumis Selema, who's been on our social media space. I will catch you again next week, Sunday. Had to think about that for a second. Yes, I'm available. Next week, Sunday, between 12 and 2. Have a glorious day. Cheers.
We are planting the seed every Sunday afternoon from 12 Central African Time. Channel Africa.
You don't have to cry. Baby, you should know it's alright. Don't let this love fade away. Yeah. Let your love be magical. Let me make it think chemical. Yeah. My baby girl, I will be your baby boy. DJ love or someone. DJ love or someone. DJ love or someone. It's your DJ love or someone.
soil, science, sustainability. We farm. We feed nations. Planting the seed. We celebrate Africans, transforming agriculture with Mmatsheko Mosito, 12 to 2 p.m. on Channel Africa, the African perspective.
Another banger. Girl, in your love with the ginger me, you they give me the love and the energy. Only you where they hide me like Hennessy, baby, Girl, in your love with the ginger me, you they give me the love and the energy. Only you where they giving me melody, Yeah, this love me I never see before, baby, This love me I never feel before, baby, This kind girl way I never see before. I go America, go London, me I never see before, baby, Sweeter than Fanta, Coca-Cola, oh yeah, Sweet in my belly, oh, I'ma get no go give me jetty jetty, oh. Come blessy baby, baby, oh. I no go do you Johnny, Johnny, oh, baby, oh. Now you, where they make me they do. Yeah, now you, where they make me they do. Now you where I choose you, they make me they do. I they do la mumu, I they do la mumu. Yeah, mo bro. Girl, in your love where they ginger me, you they give me the love and the energy. Only you where they hide me like Hennessy, baby, Girl, in your love where they ginger me, you they give me the love and the energy. Only you where they giving me melody, I'ma get na you I go fight for. I'ma get na you, say na you I go die for. I don't get motor, but na you I go ride for. When I do things, say na you